Hello everyone and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 1, Under Locks and Keys. When we last left off, the party made their way to the Artibation city of Quaisor, the fortification in the middle of the forest. And on arriving at his old home, Paul discovered that things have changed significantly in his years of absence. His siblings and family have all but disappeared, leaving him as one of the few known members of the royal family that remains. And with that being said, that makes Paul Artabat the king of Artabat by default. As the people swore fealty, they also confessed to being under a terrible, cursed reign. With your royal family being away from the castle, a doppelganger overtook the old keep where you grew up and began wildly cursing the inhabitants to turn into faceless specters like itself, seemingly in some great punishment or perhaps a very sick joke. Making their way through a secret entrance beneath the old abandoned well, Paul met back up with the 3 agents of the Boomergangers, who, with his memories restored, Paul is able to properly recognize as his siblings, who seemingly joined him on the other side and were unable to recognize each other, but now being back home, their memories are restored. And they have said that the leader of the Boomergangers has given them an out. And their father lies in the castle above somewhere, but they are free to leave the Boomergangers if they retrieve him. And with that in mind, you have a few options. You can simply retrieve your father, rescue him from the abandoned castle, and see if gunpowder can do this job for you. Or you can do as Paul wishes and scour the castle top to bottom for this doppelganger, discover his name, and put him in a vulnerable enough position to where you can finally put down the monster that has been making a playground of your home. With that, we pick back up as you guys ascend out of the sewers and up into the castle above.
I already have theories on who this guy's name is.
Most of us, I think, do.
Like, I think it's Lucifer. Well, this version of Lucifer.
I would think of that.
Like, what other kind of dick would pull a joke like this?
Joke. Oh no. Well, I guess did you explain the fact that the whole blood thing happened, right? What happened to the father?
I think I did. Yeah.
Oh, some of the. Like, it also didn't like. They tell us that they experimented on the father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Matt.
Yes.
I just wanted to confirm, right? You mentioned that they gave father the was it one of them the one that turned or our new elven sister gave father her blood to see if that would cure her.
Yes, it was a risky and experimental procedure in the hopes of saving your father's life, and it unfortunately only resulted in her getting infected as well. And according to your siblings, while you were away, they were forced to essentially put her down. Hence her spirit being so malevolent and violent to them.
Well, I guess when we go up, there's nothing of note to just the wine cellar?
Indeed. You climb up and find yourself crouched low in what appears to be a hollowed out barrel. And as you make your way out, and Asari and Greylog follow behind, you find yourself in what appears to be an old wine cellar. Many of the spirits are missing. Greylog, you notice quite a few more are seemingly so old that they are simply not really usable anymore.
Are there any ones that are still good?
A few, not many, but a few.
Can I put them in my bag of hoarding and take back to my tavern?
Make an investigation check.
I wonder how that is. Beer, alcohol. Does it taste like? Does it actually reduce alcohol? Makes you better.
I've actually done some research on this. If alcohol ferments too much, it basically just becomes like a sludge.
17.
Oh.
Also with the idea if it's mirrored, the mirror version.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess the patrons of his tavern will find out. You're still on one bar. Paul, as you and Asari find your footing, Greylog immediately just darts to the alcohol and starts scooping. Greylog, you kind of gives them experimental checks and shakes before stuffing them into your bag of holding. I'll say you're able to grab about 5 bottles of alcohol that you think might be good. Most of it is either orange or this kind of bright, like, kind of odd greenish color.
Nice.
Still on one bar. Put it in text if you need to. Paul, as you observe your surroundings, there is no light. While you can just make out, because I believe you do not have dark vision, correct?
I do not naturally. No.
Okay. Greylog, go ahead and roll with advantage.
8.
Alright. Asari attempts to help you grab some alcohol, but most of the ones she grabs appear to either be so emptied as to be basically worthless, or the alcohol is pretty old and likely not good anymore. But the attempt to help is appreciated.
Hey, good try.
Paul, as the rest of your party begins to quickly loot your family home.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Like, man, it did not take long.
You make your way across the room, kind of feeling your way blindly, going more off of memory and immediate sense than actually being able to see anything. Those of you with...
I'm going to say, can I do a cantrip, produce flame? Pretty much I'm going to hold a flame in my hand.
Sure.
And that way it'll give light.
Okay.
Oh my god, I was just about to say, hang on, let me look at my cantrips. Dead look at death glare towards Matthew.
How is this my fault?
Hey, you're the one that gave Amanda full reign to take whatever they wanted.
Oh,
as Austin pointed out, after telling them you were pretty confident your magic could cure their curse.
Still.
Greylog. Paul, as you hear the clinking of your looting comrades begin to falter, finally the cellar is illuminated as Greylog holds an open flame in their palm. And all of you looking around, see the cellar is definitely abandoned and full of cobwebs. And Paul, looking up at the ceiling, you notice that you can see the faint flickering ghosts of spiders.
Spider goes.
Oh,
Ooh.
what's worse than spiders? It's ghost spiders.
Man, I wonder who we're gonna.
What are you gonna do? They're already dead. What are you gonna fucking do?
I don't know. I wonder who we're gonna call for that.
The torches and lanterns definitely have not been lit in a long time, hence the complete darkness down here. The only living thing in here besides all of you appears to be, you notice, Paul, hanging off of where a lantern used to be hanging down here, is a birdcage. In said birdcage, you see sitting atop a bedding of what appears to be loose strips of parchment. You see one of the black Gigi birds that live around here. And as Greylog's light illuminates the area, it kind of fluffs up its feathers, waking up, and kind of does that little bird hop towards the edge of the cage to get a look at the three of you, and lets it
Don't say. Are they naturally hostile or anything like that?
the birds?
Yes.
No, it was mentioned last session. You recall they are actually quite popular as pets in your area, and many people have trained them to speak.
I guess they'll see nothing wrong with this and just simply start heading towards the door.
All right.
Do we know about these birds?
Make a nature check.
Okay. Sorry, I'm eating a cupcake.
No worries. In the meantime, Greylog, what are you doing?
Can I, I don't know what kind of check it would be. How flammable is old alcohol that's no longer drinkable?
Pretty flammable.
Because he's having ideas that, improvise, Molotovs. But he's not sure.
Well. Sorry, nature?
Hang on. Nature. +3. Rolling. 14.
You are familiar with Gigi birds, and you've heard stories that they can speak, but they aren't super common in Britannia. So you've heard stories, but a few people at your university said that those were just that, stories. After all, no animal could imitate fluent speech like we do.
I'm gonna go up to the
Like this Cancun says,
All right. Paul, as you start ascending the cellar stairs, and Greylog, you kind of curiously look over the rotten spirits to try and determine if they have any use. Asari, you kind of curiously approach the bird cage, and it immediately begins flapping its wings and hopping up onto its little perch and starts letting out these loud and Paul, you can hear its calls already echoing up the stairs. And if it keeps going, the whole castle is likely going to be alerted.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Is he going to kill the bird?
Am I? I guess I will turn around and I'm assuming I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see Asari approaching this bird.
Yes, with Greylog's flame, you can easily see.
Yeah. Do you mind leaving that alone? Well, stealth is not much of an option here, but for not to alarm the entire castle.
I mean, I've heard stories that they could speak. I just wanted to see if it was true.
I mean, is that really important right now?
Kind of. It might be if we could just be like, "Hello, okay, do you speak?"
It just continues to squawk and caw, and its feathers are fluffed up. It does not want you here.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I just had a bad testing idea.
No. Oh no.
So how angry is this bird? Like, what kind of cage is this again?
It's just like
what is
one
the
of those
size?
It's just one of those like kind of medium bird cages, like the kind you see canaries in.
Oh gosh.
Oh no. Dude, remember you're a druid.
Yeah. I know.
I was like, I'm just thinking to myself, going back to his old place.
Yep. But remember,
Yeah, I love how it's like, have the nature spirits forgiven me? No? Well, I tried.
Okay.
You see, this is why they're slow to forgive you, because you're slow to change.
It's not that.
Yeah,
it's
like,
not that Greylog's slow to change. It's Jeremy slow to change.
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Sorry, leave it alone. We're not here for birds. If you want a bird, I'll get you one later on. And we can teach you how to speak then.
he'll just kind of sigh dejectedly and turns away.
All right. Do you guys wish to follow Paul up the stairs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Asari, you and Greylog hurry up the stairs to follow Paul, the bird squawking and cawing behind you the whole way. But Paul, you force the cellar door open and ascend up into the entrance hall. As you ascend, you find yourself in a place that is very familiar to you, Paul, but unfamiliar and unsettling to the rest of you. As mentioned, the castle appears to be completely abandoned. No lanterns or torches lit. However, this entrance hall does have a skylight that's letting in the kind of dull afternoon light that from outside.
Okay, so it's not pitch black anymore.
No.
Okay, then he'll get rid of the flames.
Okay. You can see in the center of the entrance hall, flanked on either side by the staircases leading up to the second floor, is a statue, dull, kind of greenish stone, of a pair of crossed wands. The sculpture is largely overgrown by ivy vines. You can see classical paintings lining the walls. The ceiling appears to be mahogany, and you see things like decorative swords, the Artibation coat of arms littering the place. And on the stairs themselves, you can see the railings are tipped with these spiked urns. And the walls have this kind of odd design that, Asari, you can't quite place initially until you realize there's faces carved into the architecture.
Oh. Are they devilish? Are they angelic? What kind of vibe do I get?
They appear to just be normal people's faces, although they are in perpetual screaming agony.
Mhm.
She kind of just like, do I recognize this type of artistry? I'm given
Make
I'm
Christianity.
a history check.
okay. This is my forte.
Yes, it is more commonly known as Christianity.
Nah. Oh, really, Dion? I hate you. 10.
Okay.
Can I give her guidance?
Sure. Add a d4.
Okay. 2, so 12.
Okay. You're not overly familiar with this architecture styling, but um, uh, uh, it's you're not sure if the church was built like this or if it was just carved in designs after the Artabations took over. You're not sure. Paul, as the two of them kind of investigate the walls curiously, that means you're the first to notice this sweet, almost orchestral song echoing around the entrance hall. This almost angelic heralding of music that just swirls through the entrance hall. And
That can't be good.
Awesome.
below the skylight that is currently your only source of afternoon lighting, which even then it's fairly dim, below that you can see a massive circular stained glass window, which Paul, you see, has of course been decorated to portray the jack-o'-lantern sigil of your people. However, what was once a very comforting symbol is a little bit more sinister now, especially as the afternoon light causes the jack-o'-lantern's visage to be almost projected onto the floor surrounding the statue of the Twin Wands. As the three of you find your way into the entrance hall, you can see there is a front gate leading outside to your right, 2 sets of grand staircases leading up to the second floor to your left, and on the right side you can also see a few smaller windows that look out into presumably the surrounding courtyard. What do you wish to do?
I want to look for tracks and anyone that might be coming to investigate the birds.
Okay. Roll investigation. Paul, what are you doing?
I will cast a spell.
Okay. What are you casting?
2nd level, locate object. Spelltwin Wands.
All right. Asari, what are you doing?
I'll help Greg.
All right. Greylog, roll investigation with advantage.
Thank God, because it was a 4 at first.
All right.
So let's see what the other one is. It's 9.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, I'll say that's well within distance. Greylog, you and Asari immediately set to kind of checking out the surroundings. As this ghostly song surrounds all of you, you check the corners, stairs, and statue for any obvious traps. Neither of the two of you find much, although your search is intermittently interrupted. Asari, as you watch Greylog kind of investigating the statue to see if there's any traps, you watch as this dark, shadowy figure of a humanoid fades in behind him. And as you go to inform him of it, it disappears. But then Greylog, as you turn to look at Asari, you see one behind her. Seeing it from the front, it's faceless and dark, like a shadow brought to life. But again, as Asari turns to see what you're looking at, it disappears. These flickering, faceless specters just kind of flit in and out of you, almost like they're constantly in your periphery. Never quite able to see them definitively, but always able to get just enough of a glimpse so that you know something's there.
It's giving me Vashmarada and Weeping Angels if they had a baby.
Paul, as you see these shadowy specters kind of orbiting around Greylog and Asari, and you're quite confident by the chill going up your spine that they are doing the same to you, you cast Locate Object to find the Spelltwin Wands. Your spell indicates that they are high in the air, above you and slightly to from your current direction. From your current direction, you know that it is pretty high up in the air, and to your immediate, this would be your. Sorry, I'm getting the compass direction sorted in my head. From your current direction, it would be above you and to the northeast. So upwards to the northeast. But you do get a blip. You know it's here, but it appears to be very high above you, likely in one of the castle's towers.
Well, I guess I'll keep that going just in case for the next 10 minutes. And seeing all these shadowy figures.
Can I summon my wildfire spirit?
Sure. Greylog, you summon your wildfire spirit, who swirls into being before you, casting a dull firelight over the surroundings.
Can help there. Well, he seems like he's far away from us. I think if we will go for first, what should we go for first? I would like to get everyone out here. So.
Yeah, let's see if we can't find your dad.
Oh. Well, the thing I could think about would be his room, but.
Well, did he happen to wear any jewelry or anything that you know of?
Know about the ring?
Yeah, I would say, given that you're immediate family, you know of the Artibation signet ring.
I mean, or a ring, but that I guess I could try to locate that, but I figured it'd be good to keep an eye on Twin Wands since that creature has it.
True.
Could investigate the room and see where that leads.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
We're going upstairs.
Paul, you, Asari, and Greylog make your way up the grand staircase. You make your way up. Greylog, again, unfamiliar to you. You can see that there's these spiked, almost palisades over the door that awaits on the balcony. However, Paul, as you approach the door that leads into the rest of the castle and give it a pull, the door's locked.
But that's not good.
What is the door made out of?
It appears to be made out of mahogany.
Alright.
Can I burn the door?
Certainly. What are you going to use to do so?
Produce flame. I'm gonna aim for around where the locking area is, and just like, try to burn the wood around it.
Okay.
Can I say one thing before he does that?
Of course.
Right as Asari can put 2 to 2 together that he's gonna put that door on fire, he's gonna be like, "No, that is mahogany!"
Greylog, do you burn it anyway?
Yes.
Roll to hit.
Dirty 20.
Roll damage.
That would be 21 fire damage. I added an extra D8 because of my fire bond.
Okay. Greylog, you set the mahogany door aflame. And as the fire begins to lick at the wood and spread and darken it, it does appear to be damaging it, but it doesn't fall immediately. It's still standing for the time being. And Paul, you notice that crestfallen wailing song suddenly stops. And Asari, you look around and see those shadowy, faceless figures are now surrounding all of you, blocking the stairs and just forming this like mobbish circle around the three of you. Hundreds and hundreds of faceless shadows, none of whom can be identified as the individuals they once were, but all just staring silently.
Well, I would like to reach my hand out to them.
Paul, as you reach your hand out towards the mob of shadows, you feel a ghostly one enter yours. And a figure takes shape before all of you. Elvish, from the looks of it. Long, streaming red hair. A white-gray cloak over a green dress. Her eyes are red, not the dark blood red of violence, but that small pinkish red, as if the eyes are swollen from constant crying. Her complexion is ghastly and haunted, and she initially appears very small at about 4 foot, but you can see that where her legs would be is just this kind of spectral protoplasmic void. And she stares down at your hand in hers, Paul, and... The prodigal son returns.
This is not her, but yeah. I'm here to save everyone if I can.
Where were you when I needed saving?
In a whole other world where I didn't even know, where my memories were, I guess, in a sense, taken from me, but voluntarily.
If you are here to help, why do your allies destroy my home? And she glares at Greylog and the still bristling fire as it basically completely encapsulates the mahogany door now.
I apologize. I apologize for the destruction, but we need to get to Father.
Father. Yes. Yes. You may go, but leave the disrespectful whelp behind.
Well, may I ask if is he up ahead? Is he safe?
Safe? I do not know. I can only walk the grounds that I once walked in life. But I do know where I last saw him be taken.
And where was that?
The dungeons in the towers. He was dragged, sealed away, so that if the procedure went wrong, he would not be a danger to anyone. That is the last I remember. But I have not seen his soul on these grounds, nor have I seen him since.
Well, I do hope he is safe. I guess I'll look through the others. I mean, I would like to ask y'all to stay here. I mean, prefer not to get into a fight if we don't need to. Maybe you can find these faceless while I find my father. Figure out a way to cure them.
There is no cure for a loss of who ye are. They have been taken,
Can we give
and
them back?
only he who holds their faces can restore them.
So we would have to confront this man anyways, I guess.
Why are you here?
Well, I mean, the reason I left was to find a way to cure father, but I was gone for so long. A lot's happened since.
I tried to save him.
I heard.
I loved your family so much. I'm sorry I could not have done more. Maybe, if I was given a chance, I could have. This home is sacred to me, and you are destroying it.
Just the one door? I will have it fixed.
Make a persuasion check.
Just so you know, before you ask, he is not lying. He will pay to get it fixed.
No, that's why I said persuasion and not deception.
Yeah. 21.
She points a crooked, ghostly finger at you. On your word, this castle shall not endure further harm. I've endured the disrespect of that monster in the tower for long enough. I will not endure yours atop it. If you break your vow, and another part of this castle comes to harm under your hand, I shall wrench your soul from your body, and you will join the Faceless Ones. Not through having it stolen, but by having it destroyed beyond all recognition.
Well, you might have to fight somebody else for my soul, but point still stands, and you have my word. I will not intentionally destroy any part of the castle.
As the mahogany door finally crumbles and what is now effectively just firewood begins to burn to ash, she glares at all of you before her gaze softens on Paul, and she says, "Then I and the remaining spirits will trouble you no further. And, Paul,
Yes.
your family is everything to me. Please, I cannot rest until I know what has befallen my beloved family. It's as if I went to sleep with all of you around me and woke up with all of you gone. Seeing you alive and well brings peace to a weary soul.
Well,
But I must know what became of the rest of my flesh and blood. Only then will I be satisfied. Please, find him. Find all of them.
well, as for I can, if it helps you give you more ease, the rest are safe. In fact, they're actually close by. They're trying to do what they can to save father as well.
Mother and father.
Mother?
Yes, mother. Where is she?
I do apologize. I have not been here that long, so I haven't really gotten the whereabouts of where mother is. I'm still looking for father to help fix his situation, but
Then I pray for our family's safety.
As I do.
She looks over the three of you, a little more disdainfully at the non-Artabats, but...
May I ask you a question? Even though I know I don't deserve an answer, it might help Paul and his family if you did.
His family is mine. His blood is mine. What is your question?
You mentioned the defiler up in the tower. Do you know his name?
There is only one soul in this castle who knows it.
Oh.
It is by that magical bond that he secures his immortal reign.
Can you tell us who that soul is and where to find them?
Is it father?
She kind of looks at the surrounding faceless spirits, and it is not just these poor souls that the monster is cursed. I have been cursed as well, to ensure that I would not tell any the secret of who possesses his name. I know it, but cannot speak it to anyone.
Could you write it?
I cannot directly share the information with anyone. But I can perhaps give you hints, clues to lead you in the right direction.
Well, if you could, that would be greatly beneficial.
She closes her eyes in deep thought for a moment. And there is another reason that I am not able to share it. How am I to write it if I don't have a writing desk? Or perhaps something similar to one?
Writing desk.
Beyond that, all I can tell you is that the soul is in the castle.
What do I know about ghosts, Matthew?
Make a religion check?
That would be a 19.
So I guess for my clarification, is there a specific type of information you're trying to get, or do you just want a general overview?
Like, based on the fact that she's cursed, if she was to have a physical body, could she work around the curse easier?
Oh, okay. Well, that's separate. That's separate. That's based on curses. But since you've already rolled, I'll allow that. No. Curses attached to the soul, not to the physical body.
Yeah, it's also, I think, what she said was the clue, though. Very interesting clue. Well, I think y'all can try to figure that out. Maybe I can my father and at least get him to safety.
Yes. I will ponder this.
Ponder.
Then I shall return to my own rest. Do not break your word, or we will meet again, and the next time you hear my voice, it'll be considerably less pleasant. And with that, she fades into a fog, and the faceless spirits join her. Although you do still glimpse them looking at you in your periphery. They simply return to orbiting you rather than following her. And the entrance into the rest of the castle lies as thoroughly unlocked as anything ever gets. What do you wish to do?
I'm gonna look for like sitting areas that would have desk. Probably like look for like old quarters that would have belonged to a princess maybe of some kind.
Okay. Paul, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go look for my father. From the sounds of it, he's in the dungeon.
Okay. Do you two wish to stick together more or less, or are you going to split up?
Well, unless she gave her okay, they weren't allowed up beyond the door, right?
Well, she had said that, like, basically, he swore a vow that she can take his soul and obliterate his face if he intentionally destroys anything in the castle. So she's willing to allow you to proceed further.
Okay.
Oh, do you know where her room was? Since she was your sister.
Well, I didn't really know her for very long, but do I know that, Matt?
I will say, given what we've established, you know of her. You know that she mostly stayed in the dungeons with your brother. However, you do know she had a bedroom somewhere on the castle grounds, but she just wasn't really in it often enough for you to really learn to associate it with where it was. But you know that most of the bedrooms are on the second floor, so with enough searching, you could probably find it.
Well, I mean, most of the beds are on the second floor, or the fourth floor, or what was the second, right?
Yeah, second.
Oh, wait.
yeah, second floor.
But most of the bedrooms are on the second floor. Which one? I really couldn't tell you. Again, I wasn't here for long enough to get to know her. The only thing I know is that she was with my brother.
How about this then? I'll go search the second floor. You go find your father, and we'll meet back here at the. He'll look at the charred remains of the previous door. We'll meet back here. In about. He'll think on it. 2 hours. How does that sound?
I mean, hopefully it won't take that long, but I guess so.
Anything past that, it's in a search party. Something probably went wrong.
I mean, I guess I'll look to a sorry, and I guess I should. I wonder. What is it you plan on doing? Do you wish to investigate on your own, or by one of us?
I think that I'll be helping Greg. Someone needs to keep an eye on him, I think. Make sure he doesn't piss off any more ghosts.
And you're good with papers and written knowledge.
But I am interested in searching this castle's library at some point.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind with how, well, he was about to say friendly, how understanding they are.
I mean, don't mind, just I guess, I guess as long as you don't destroy anything, it should be fine.
I promise. No more fire. I just remembered, did I buy a lock-picking set before we came to this country?
If there's one in your inventory, then yes.
I'm going to kick myself if I did.
You're so used to burn, fire.
No, you do not have thieves' tools and lockpicks, but you do have tinker's tools and stuff that could have at least, in theory, unlocked the door. So.
But
Yeah.
also never saw anything that done. I was just like, what?
Yeah, in a thing in a thing that has a doppelganger, you never want the DM to suddenly start talking as one of the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Are you guys good with this set of plans then?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Okay. In that case, Greylog, we'll start with you. Make an investigation check. I'll give you advantage and say that Asari's helping you.
And I'm also going to put guidance on myself to add a D4.
Okay.
Okay, so that is 22.
Okay.
The first one was only 16.
As Paul makes his way downstairs to head to the dungeons, you head through the charred open door and begin searching the second floor for bedrooms. It takes you some time. This is a fairly sizable castle. You see that there is indeed a library. You are able to see that there are many fine art pieces on display. You see at the edge of either wing of the second floor is a set of stairs heading upwards, presumably into the tower ramparts. And as you search the many, many rooms that line this part of the castle, you are able to find on the second floor the library, the kitchen, and you are able to find several bedrooms. Although you do notice that of the ones you search, only 3 of them show any signs of like any form of long-term habitation. You find one that appears at a glance to be a boys' room. But again, that's a very kind of arbitrary call, granted. What few things you can see, it appears this place was kind of abandoned almost in a hurry. You can see a few loose vials that contain long dried out chemicals. In another, the room itself you actually suspect is completely abandoned. The only thing you're able to find of note is a chest at the foot of the bed that has a large lock keeping it shut.
Does it look like
One
it
of the
could be used
bedrooms,
for writing? In theory?
as much as you can use, as much as you could use any solid surface for writing.
Can I use a dagger to try to pick it?
You can try. Roll dexterity at disadvantage.
Okay, that is a 16.
You try to use a dagger to force the lock open, but it does not budge. This lock seems pretty secure.
Dang, I need to invest in some actual tools for this eventually.
One of the other bedrooms you find appears to actually be largely destroyed completely. There's a hole in the floor, and a lot of the possessions are just kind of scattered around haphazardly. The only other room you find that has any immediate sign of some kind of habitation is the bedroom nearest to the destroyed one, which you note contains several exotic-looking weapons decorating the walls, and the bed does look a little ruffled. However, I will say you do notice that while the sheets themselves do look ruffled and wrinkled as if they'd been used, the actual tuck of the sheets appears pretty much immaculate.
And what kind of you said it was weapons?
Yes.
And do I see any writing desk, like an actual writing desk?
You do see that there is a vanity off to the side that does indeed have a desk portion, although it appears to be more for the purposes of makeup. It could certainly be used as a writing desk.
Can I investigate that? To look for any
Sure.
clues
Roll
as to what they said?
Sure, roll investigation.
And also guidance again. Thank
Okay.
God for cantrips.
Yeah, those must be nice, huh?
Yeah, they are. 21.
As you look over the vanity appears to be somewhat disorganized. Definitely a kind of breakaway from the relative precision that this room is kept in. But you notice the mirror appears to have a slight crack in it, as if something had struck it. The drawers appear to mostly contain makeup. However, you do also notice a small dark green leather-bound book, and what appears to be what you think is a tube of lipstick, but as you kind of experimentally fiddle with it, it's actually a hidden knife.
Okay. So can I grab the book, the hidden knife, and you also mentioned weapons, correct?
Yes.
Can I grab those as well? I want to head back down to the entrance hall to see if I can't talk to the ghost lady again, to see if these look familiar for what she was talking about. If she could give me a hint on that.
Okay. And I will say, what weapons are you grabbing?
What do I see?
You are able to see a variety of firearms, and a variety of blades. At an immediate glance, I'll say you're able to see. I have my list here. A great sword, a regular sword, a warhammer, a shield, a mace, a halberd, a short sword, various axes, a war pick, and as I mentioned, several firearms. You notice what appears to be a musket, what appears to be a blunderbuss, and what appears to be a firearm you don't recognize that's like a multi-barreled rifle.
So he's not interested in the guns, and not really most of the weapons. Can he investigate the shield?
Sure.
Does it seem like it's like a regular shield, or does it have any magical properties that he might be able to like tell if it's magical in any way?
Make an Arcana check.
That is, let's see. That is a 2.
Nah, it's not magic. But I will say you notice that the shield does bear the Artibation coat of arms.
Okay, he will take that, but only because he's planning to give it to Paul.
Okay.
But he'll take the book and the little knife down with him, only because he doesn't. Because if it's a diary, he doesn't want to open it and read it without, you know, her permission, because it's probably hers.
Okay.
And he doesn't want his soul ripped out of his body.
You make your way back out onto the entry balcony of the hall, and do you just call out for the ghost? What do you do?
Because he's guessing that he's still being watched, especially after what he did. So he's just gonna not yell, but he's just gonna speak normally and ask if it's okay if he reads the book.
She begins to reform in front of you, almost sitting casually on the balcony, and she kind of raises an eyebrow over her tear-stained eyes. And do you make a habit of reading girls' diaries?
Well, you didn't give us much info, so I was hoping it might be in there.
I'm a twice-cursed dead woman. What do you want from me?
Well, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't offend anymore, and I figured it would be better to ask.
Well, that's certainly a good mindset to have. And she floats into the air above you, and my diary doesn't have any answers, if that's what you're asking. I was dead long before the monster even got here.
Okay, fair enough. He will return the diary back to where it was. Which room was it? Can you give me a hint on that?
Beg pardon?
The room that you mentioned with the writing desk.
I didn't say there was a writing desk.
What do you think? Her exact words were, "How can I write?"
She
without
could
a
tell you
writing
if she
desk?
had a writing desk or something similar.
What do you think? What could that possibly be?
Well, while you think on it, Paul,
Yeah.
you make your way out to the back gardens. You spent a lot of time out here. You know them well. The golden Perusian tree that hangs overhead. And you notice it's one of the few trees out here that's actually survived to some degree. And even now, golden leaves fall around you, almost illuminating your way. The garden itself is sadly in disrepair. The fountains have run dry, and the weeds have overgrown much of the land. but you can see across the way the cellar that, or rather the cellar door that leads down into the castle dungeons. Opening the doors and making your way down, you remember that these dungeons were the favored haunt of your brother, as it was far enough away from the castle that any chemical accidents would not bring harm to the home or those within it. And given the nature of your people being so kind and generous, the dungeons went largely unused anyway. As you open the cellar and make your way inside, you find yourself in a long stretch of hall, stone, and definitely older than the castle, which at least was maintained for a few years by your family. Even now, there's an acrid stench of chemistry in the air and something else. You're not quite sure what. It's pitch black down here and you can't see anything. You're operating purely on what you can smell and hear. As you make your way to the bottom of the staircase, and you know, even if you can't see it, you're within the castle dungeons. What do you wish to do?
That only lasts a minute, so I don't want to waste that. Well, I'm pretty sure, I'm assuming by now the locate objects is gone.
How long does it last?
10 minutes.
I would say actually it didn't take you too long to get out here. I will say it's close to wearing off, but it should last you another minute or so.
Okay. And has that object moved since then?
You noticed it moving periodically, but more in like kind of vague shifts than in like outright, like almost the kind of like slow vacant movements of like something swaying in the breeze rather than something like making sharp intended movements. Basically they're drifting, but they're not moving, if that makes sense.
I'm assuming it'd be they're moving but very slowly and not like a whole lot of...
Yeah, they're basically not leaving the kind of central point where you first noticed them. They're just kind of ambiably drifting side to side, periodically.
Okay. I don't have any way to at least produce light so far, unless... I have a torch.
I was just about to say, unless you got a torch in your backpack, which came with your character.
Well, I never really use those stuff, so I got a torch and a tinderbox. So let's go. Let's you will light a torch.
All right. Paul pulling the torch and tinderbox that have been largely unused during this adventure from your backpack. You kind of blindly fumble in the dark until you're able to light the torch, and you hold it in the air overhead as light fills your surroundings and you're able to see. You see the nameless, faceless spirits wandering. They don't trouble you, but they are in great number down here. It's unsettling, but they do not appear concerned with you for the moment.
Alright, well... Yeah, guess he'll proceed forward.
Okay. You make your way forward down the hall of dungeons. You pass by several cells that, other than the wandering spirits, are largely unoccupied. You see ahead of you is a thick set of doors that are closed, and you are able to make out a small dark shape towards the back of the cell closest to those doors. It does not appear to be one of the spirits, but it is small, dark, and huddled against the far back corner.
Well, first up, just in case, divine sense. No location of any celestial fiend or undead within 6 feet that is not behind hollow cover. Or any affected by hollow spells.
You extend your divine sense outward and check your surroundings. Nothing goes off.
Okay.
This shape doesn't trigger it, nor do the spirits.
Yeah, that's not good, but I guess Paul will kind of approach the figure and are you okay?
No response. The dungeon doorway is locked, so you cannot get significantly closer, but there is no response as you call out. What do you do?
Well, since it didn't send off any, any warnings, I shall. What I can do here. I'm gonna try to throw my torch near the figure. I can't get to them.
Alright, just near it, not on them, right?
No, I don't want to harm them.
Okay. You chuck your torch through the bars of the dungeon, and your torch rolls across the ground and stops at the feet of the small huddled figure. It does not move. However, the brighter light that your torch casts on it does help you to see it a bit better. You can see it appears to be the almost silhouette-like form of a small elderly man with kind of wild, unkempt hair, a relatively snazzy hat overhead, and dressed in a fine suit. However, everything from the clothes to the skin to the hair is made of this almost calcified tar-like substance. The figure is completely motionless. It doesn't appear to breathe or to move, even in response to your torchlight.
I guess I will try it out. Is that your father?
No response.
Well, I don't care if she gets mad at me. I'm gonna break the door down.
Roll to hit.
All right. 15.
And that was how I died.
Well, technically by the standard.
All right, 15. Roll damage.
Damage.
And I guess for my reference, what are you trying to like hit with it?
I guess the lock that's on it. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanna get the thing open. Damage is 6.
Okay. It takes you a little bit of effort, but you are able to smash through the lock on the dungeon doorway and pull open the cell door as the hinges of the lock are basically completely loosened and knocked out. You notice a few of the faceless spirits are kind of gravitating to you, seemingly more in response to the noise than anything, but they do not appear hostile yet. Your path to the small huddled figure is unobstructed.
Alright. I guess I will approach the small huddled figure and pick up my torch and lay my hand on the figure.
You lay your hand on the small huddled figure, and seeing them this close, I think it's safe to say, in and out of character, you begin to recognize them.
Yeah, I had a figured.
You recognize, even with the body and the state it's in, the signs of gnomish descent, and there is only one small, cuddly man that you knew with an appearance like this. When your father had fallen ill before you left on your quest to save him, he had been vomiting up a substance that is now very similar to what now seems to have completely encapsulated his body, forming this almost skin-tight cocoon of calcified ichor around his body. His body, or rather his face, is locked in a petrified expression of what appears to be pain. There is no signs of life in him. And you notice at your touch, parts of his shoulder begin to kind of crack and fade, and little bits of this blackened skin begin to kind of flake off, and you notice that the flakes kind of warp and stutter as they fall, almost as if the pieces are not quite firmly in this realm of reality.
Not sure if you can hear me, but I'm hoping that you're still with us. Whatever it is that's going on with you. What? Paul's going to start put his hands on him and just start seeing if any of his newly found healing magic will do it. He will cast, lay on hands, like to remove a disease. I'm trying to think. Yeah. I guess I will cast detection, poison, and disease. See if I can see if he has anything problem with that.
Realizing the reality of what's happened, you set to work to put the training you spent years building to work. Maybe you can save what has been lost. You cast Detect Poison and Disease, and you see that there is indeed a disease in the body. However, given that they are dead, the blood is no longer flowing. However, the coagulated blood does appear to contain some remnants of a disease.
So I guess not powerful enough to do just bring them back to life. Nor am I rich enough. I guess, seeing as there's at least some traces of disease, I will lay on hands 5 points to remove said disease. Cure disease.
Pumping your healing magic through your father's body, you are very, very delicate with where you touch. As every time you even brush against the skin and clothes, it flakes and crumples. And you're worried that if you were to touch the body too harshly, the whole thing may simply cave in. However, as you pump healing magic into the body, as the first couple ticks go by, nothing appears to be happening. However, after you get to the 5-point requirement to purge a disease, you do see a faint flicker of untainted cloth beneath the black calcified material. Almost as if you're slowly restoring the body beneath.
Well, he's gonna keep doing it and keep doing it until pumping as much as he needs, as much as he will use all of his lay on hands if need be.
Okay.
I have 51 right now.
Alright. You pump and pump and pump as you brush away more and more of this calcified ichor that encapsulates your father. And bit by bit, as you purge the disease from every bit of blood you can, you finally manage to, I'll say it took up, I'm willing to say, half of your lay on hands. But you brush away the last of the ichor, and it took work, something that only you or those like you can do, but you managed to purge the ichor from this body. Your father's body looks awful. It's gaunt. There's clearly been a certain amount of rot that set it in, and he wasn't exactly looking good and wasn't exactly a spring chicken when you left. The small, weak, gnomish body of King Artabat lays pathetically curled against the dungeon wall, brushed free of the ichor that consumed him, but he still lies dead. His face is distorted in pain, although you do notice as the last of the ichor is brushed away, the expression falls into a more neutral, calm state. You're not sure if you were imagining that or not, but it's possible that simply the calcification had stuck his face in a certain way, and now that you've brushed it all away, it's simply free to revert to a more neutral state. However, given the unnatural state of the affliction, it's certainly possible that you may have done your father some service in purging the infection from his body.
Paul will grab his body and hold it up and carry it as he will proceed to walk
I
out.
just this imagination of like big beefy like Paul like carrying his dad fireman style.
As you gently pick up and cradle your father's small, weak body,
I mean over the shoulder.
Yeah.
oh no, I know. You walk out of the dungeon that your father presumably spent his final moments in. Look around at the faceless spirits that watch you, knowing that they were at one point his subjects, now yours. And you begin to walk out. Do you head straight back to the entrance hall where you intended to meet with Greylog, or are you, or do you have some other business to do while you're in the area?
Go back to the hall.
Okay. Greylog, do you have any other business, or are you content to wait for Paul's return? You're muted if you're talking.
Oh, sorry. Yes, he's gonna wait for Paul's return.
Okay. You had initially given a return meeting time of 2 hours, but in total, about an hour has passed. As Greylog, you and Asari ponder the riddle that the ghost left you with, and you hear one of the doors on the first floor open, and the two of you see Paul enter with a small, elderly-looking gnomish body cradled in his arms. They appear to be dead.
Is that your dad?
It is.
If you can help me get the supplies, I can bring him back.
What do you mean by that?
I need some rare oils and unguents. And since you have his body, I can create him a new one, and he'll be brought back. It might be the same type of body, or it might be slightly different, but he himself, his mind, his abilities, will all still be the same.
You all hear the wailing song of the banshee resume. And Paul, you feel a chill as the form of your ghostly sister takes shape behind you. Her eyes are freshly re-teared as she stares down at the body in your arms. I felt it. You removed my soul from him.
I felt like it was at least I could do. I'm not sure. My magic. It seems that all the training I left was for nothing. Much.
Not for nothing. We had some of the best doctors in the continent trying to do what you did. And at least in my lifetime, they never succeeded. You did what nobody else could. And
But I was too late.
maybe not. Even if it's not true what your whelpish friend says, that maybe there's a chance for him to be brought back to life. It wasn't too late for me. I realize now. I'm free.
Where would you go now?
I've heard a lot of different stories about what's waiting for me. I'm not sure which one I'm inclined to believe. I like to think there's something nice waiting for me on the other side. But I can't leave just yet. I need to make sure that my family, that I'm not going to lose them again.
And you still have that curse on you, right?
The monster's curse doesn't bind me, it simply ensures my silence.
What if we removed your curse?
Well then, I could tell you what you need to know.
Hearing this, Paul's going to then reach for her. And without saying much, well, that should have a word component, I think it does. Yeah. He's going to reach her and try to see, I guess, try to touch her as best as she can and tell us what you know and cast Remove Curse.
Paul, as you reach your hand out, and with your permission, just stop me if it's not something you don't like. You touch the face of your ghostly sister. You never knew her super well, but blood or not, you're still family. And you remove her curse of silence. She smiles and places a cold hand over your own and smiles. See, this is why I love this family. You'll do anything. Even for the sister you barely met. She takes your fingers off of her face and gently kisses your knuckle. Don't linger on those you couldn't save. Linger instead on those who you did. She looks at the window where you can see the sun is beginning to set. In one day, you've managed to grant me peace. My family's alive and come back to me. My soul is removed from its binds. And even my curse of silence is removed. I didn't know Father as well as I would have liked, but I think he would have been proud of you. He talked about you a lot in the end, you know. He never knew me, but he always loved you. You were just as good of his son as anyone in this house. Don't forget that. You're my brother. You were his son. He loved you. I love you. All of us do. Thank you. The bird in the cellar. He trained it to speak his name.
Yes, that stupid bird does have a use.
He realized that the spell only says that one living soul must be capable of speaking your name. It never specified a person. Don't you know the riddle, whelp? A raven is like a writing desk?
I never claimed to be intelligent. But I wasn't joking though. I can actually bring him back if I have the supplies.
I'll leave the decision in my brother's hands. I think it's time for me to move on.
Well, do you want to wait and help us try to fight the guy who has done this to everyone? A little bit of bravado before you head out?
I'm afraid it doesn't quite work like that. My reasons for being here are slipping away one by one. I'm getting weaker.
Are ghosts able to coexist in a willing occupant's body?
Coexist is a strong word, but in theory.
Don't. Please don't.
Nah, I was like,
And Asari, as you kind of curiously inquire to the writer of the poem that the woman appears to be referencing, she kind of tilts her head to the side. I'm afraid I don't know that name, dear. Poe? Anyway. As in Edgar Allan? I'm afraid you're speaking gibberish, dear.
Where we're from, it would. I think for you, can you say it backwards?
Ragde Nala Eop. She tilts her head to the other side and sounds a bit more like a name, but I'm afraid it's still unfamiliar to me. I just heard it from some travelers from overseas.
Fair enough.
Anyway, you'll find your name somewhere in that bird's head. He trained it. Surely he can figure out how he did it. I won't be leaving just yet, but... She looks up at the sky as, again, the sun is going down. My time's almost here. There is one other way to free all these people, the spirits of the faceless.
And how do we do that?
Her face darkens into a ghoulish visage. Kill him.
Oh,
His grip on everyone will fade with his soul.
I think that's more than reasonable. He's definitely earned it by this point.
She gives you a nod. Once you know his name, don't speak it out loud until you find him. The moment you speak his name, he'll know.
Understood. Now, how do we convince the bird that only prefers to scream how to give us information?
If only we knew somebody.
If only we knew somebody who could speak with animals, or even just as a thought turn into one.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, shit.
It's almost like I designed this
that.
dungeon with a druid in mind to solve the puzzle.
like, whoa, I'm a druid.
I was looking through my ability and stuff, and I was like,
just give it a little gentle nudge.
Gentle nudge, like it seems like way more than a gentle nudge there.
he'll shrug. Hey, as I said, intelligence isn't my strong suit.
Well, then the path before
And
you
no
is clear,
comment on that.
and my work here is done. Welp. Other one. Look after my brother. He means the world to me. And she gives you a nod, Paul. You're still not
Yeah,
good connection.
Yeah, it's really bad.
If you... Yes, she looks to you as she says, other one. And as she looks to Paul, I have a feeling that where you're going to be going after this, I won't be able to follow you. But while you're in our family home, I'll be watching you. Be safe. I love you.
Love you too.
She smiles, and her spirit fades.
Well, let's go
what do you
talk
do
to
now?
that pesky bird.
Yeah. Paul will continue to hold on to the body.
Okay.
Paul, didn't you say that your people were like super, like fond of these things?
I do remember talking about the birds, I think, but I mean, they are.
What I'm
What?
You might have to type, Manda.
You cut out.
no, I just didn't want to keep interrupting. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, just you know.
Well, what I'm getting at is if you know, if you
No,
knew,
don't know.
no, well, if you knew like what people normally use for like a word, like you know, like when you train a dog, you like sit. Do you say like speak to the bird to get it to talk?
The way you, I guess I think I know what you're saying. I mean, you do. I mean, I looked at Greylog, and I mean, you're more acquainted with animals, so I mean, you probably have a better chance. So.
Yep. I'll try talking to him first, or her. We don't know which. If that fails, well, we'll try again after that. I'm not good with people, but I can definitely talk animal.
Okay. Do all of you head back into the cellar, or just Greylog?
I'll head back.
Okay.
Oh, and I will give Paul the shield I found with
All
that coat of arms on it. I thought it was fitting that you get this.
I appreciate it, I guess.
It was in your sister's room. I think she'd want you to have it.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it, and I guess he'll add it to his collection of shields.
All right. You may add a shield to your inventory.
Alright.
As the three of you return to the cellar you had come from, almost immediately as the three of you begin descending the stairs, the bird starts up again. It squawks and puffs up its feathers and does those like that little owl thing of like fluffing up its feathers and wings and kind of shaking its everything at you.
Can I take some of my rations out and do an animal handling check to see if I can't get him to be quiet and
Roll animal handling.
like placate him some.
Roll animal handling.
Let's see, 26.
You pull out some rations, obviously knock those off your list, but tossing them into the cage, it flutters down into the nesting material of kind of ripped up looking parchment paper, and begins to eat at the rations, and its feathers do begin to smooth, although it does, once it's finished eating, kind of hop to back away so that it's at least as much distance between you and it as possible. But it does seem to have at least calmed down and quieted down.
I would then use my final wild shape to turn into one of its kind.
All right. You turn into a small black Gigi bird.
Yeah, that's for brothers. Made me think now. If you're a druid, you go to the reverse world. Can you then later on become reverse animals, like reverse versions of the animals?
Only in specific cases.
Eh. And then I will ask it what its name is, just out of politeness.
Let me double check. I need to. Can you do speak with animals while wild shaped?
Well, I think
No.
since he
When I'm
is
wild
that
shaped, I
animal-
speak in its natural language.
Yeah, I think he's saying now that he is one of those animals, he speaks that. He can only speak that animal's language, right? Because he can't speak human now.
Exactly.
That's the thought process. That'd be the thought process.
Okay, I'll allow that. So what? So you said you ask it its name?
Yeah. As a opening conversation starter.
The creature kind of calms and actually seems quite curious as you look up at it in a form that now resembles its own. And it kind of tilts its head down at you before nodding its head. Loop. You?
Greylog.
Where'd that big ugly guy go?
The one that tossed you the food.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. It's a special ability of mine. Still here.
Ah.
We were told that you knew some special information we needed.
Oh, yeah. The name of the new tenant, right?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Well, sorry, I'm not supposed to tell anyone. And he kind of hops onto his perch and starts preening his feathers.
May I ask why you're not supposed to tell anyone?
Because if I tell anyone, I don't get food and I starve to death in my cage.
And how long has it been since you were fed before I gave you any?
He comes in and feeds me once a day. It's boring, but at least I'm alive.
And what if I made you a better deal and let you out of your cage so you could go do whatever you wish?
You let me out of here, ugly, and I'll tell you anyone's name. Trust me, we birds know some stick gossip.
Okay. While still in my bird form, can I open his cage?
You can try. Make a dexterity check at disadvantage using the stats of a raven.
Let's see. What are the stats of a raven?
In the case of this check, you will only have a +2. So disadvantage +2.
That's a 16.
using your beak and talons, you kind of fuddle with the lock and are able to open up the bird cage. And Loop hops down from his perch onto the railing and stretches out his wings and neck into the surrounding air, and that's so much better. Well, I guess a deal's a deal. And he turns around and starts digging through his bedding before pulling out what appears to be one of the many ripped up scroll fragments. And so, which one of you guys is in charge?
The one in the armor, with the gnome body.
Oh yeah, that's the old king, isn't it?
Yep, and that's his son, I guess.
Oh, I thought he
Paul.
looked. I thought he looked familiar. We used to travel together.
Well, maybe you can travel with me again.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Either way, up to you. You're a free bird after this.
Damn right I am. Paul, the birds kind of squawk at each other for a moment before the raven flies towards you and perches on your shoulder and holds the scroll fragment out to you.
I guess he'll hold his hand out. Right.
It drops the fragment of scroll into your palm and kind of does this almost like throat clearing sound, and in that kind of mimicry tone of a raven. Although the voice it's mimicking is unfamiliar, none of you recognize the voice that it's attempting to mimic. But it speaks up in a way all of you can hear what it's saying. Martinko Klingak.
No wonder he cast a spell. If I had a name like that too, I would.
Sorry, just starts cackling.
Well, you didn't hear that. He was still bird talk.
Oh, no, I was gonna go with it. It was where it's like, good one, Greylog.
I guess he'll look.
And with that, go on.
I was just saying he's gonna look at the parchment and see what's on the parchment.
On the parchment, you see is the name you were just given written out. Martinko Klingak.
Can I make the math and see if I couldn't realize what name that is the other way?
You know that in reverse, so basically whoever his counterpart is Oknitram Kagnilk.
I'm sorry, just kind of narrows her eyes. Sounds made up.
The bird, given its freedom, flies to be on top of its cage and starts squawking in the direction of the door that leads out into the main hall. Seems like it wants you to let it out, and presumably so it can make its escape via the skylight.
Greylog will shift back, and he will open the door for him. A deal is a deal.
The bird immediately just takes off through the door and disappears out of the castle skylight.
We got what we needed. Don't say it out loud. Let's go get some vengeance.
Paul's gonna head to the cellar.
You're already in the cellar.
Well, I meant like to the hatch, to the sewers.
Oh, okay. Greylog,
Um,
as you say this, you see
mine's
Paul is making his way to head back into the sewers out of the castle.
Huh. Oh, okay. Well, he will just go with Paul then because he's not going to fight this dude on his own.
All right.
What was the story trying to say?
Just put it in text if the need be. Paul, as you and Greylog make your way back down into the sewers, you can immediately hear the voice of your siblings begin to kind of clamor over each other. Oh, Paul's just heading down into the back into the sewers where your backup is, and Paul, you hear the clamoring voice of your siblings kind of echoing as you climb down the ladder, until finally your eldest brother's voice is able to break through. How did it go? Are you all right? We heard the singing stop and all of them suddenly come to a halt as they see the body in your arms.
Well,
Fuck. How long?
how long has he been on? I honestly don't know. But I guess on some good news, we learned out the name of the creature that's been been plaguing this area.
That's great. Can you tell us?
I've been told by our dear sister to not say. Also,
Or he'll know.
yeah, and also, he seems to have passed on peacefully.
Well, she's working on it. She didn't want to. She didn't leave quite yet. She said, but she was on her way out.
I hope she can forgive us.
She's more mad at me than anything right now. I may or may not have burned a mahogany door that was locked.
You see all three of them kind of crinkle their noses a bit at that, and before turning their attention back to Paul. Seems our family is getting smaller by the day.
Well, any consolation, my friend here seems to have some idea that he may bring him back.
With the proper supplies.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Well, if you want me to do it now, I can. If you can get me the supplies.
You can go look for supplies. We're gonna go take care of this.
Well, we need to make sure nobody finds this gunpowder. Don't exactly want anyone setting it off early. But afterwards, our business with the Boomer Gangers is concluded. So, and your brother kind of nods his head. Maybe we'll go back with you guys and see about getting these supplies you need.
It won't be cheap, but
Nothing ever is. We'll pay whatever it takes.
And are we? I mean, are we rich in our family? Basically, do we have a lot of money in our treasury?
You have a respectable amount of money, but not much. Your family was bleeding from the coffers as when your king was dying. Not necessarily because of that, but because remember your people are so generous that they just kind of give things away at the drop of a hat. So your family always kind of had a problem holding on to money because if anyone asked for money, they would just give it away.
Yeah, I think. I'm also just thinking back, like, man, probably as Zephyr back in the day, probably this Marcel, so you know.
But you wouldn't know that, so.
Well, I mean, well, Paul wouldn't know that, yeah.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you wouldn't know if Zephyr / Riffus had done that, so. Well, if we all do this, who's gonna stay behind? What do you mean? Somebody has to be in charge, right?
Well, someone should be. It seems people were looking for people to guide them, but we can decide that later. Let's first handle this mess.
All right.
And there's also another idea for leadership. You could all rule together as a group, make a committee out of it. That way, not one person has power, but the family itself.
Maybe, but the nobility would never accept that.
Better than what they have now.
Well,
so they might.
Paul's right. We should deal with this first and go from there. If we all make it out of this, then maybe we could discuss the idea.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
All right. I will say, is there any further discussion, or rather investigation you guys want to have on the castle grounds? Or Paul, with your locate object spell, you can pretty much find your way to the Spelltwin Wands pretty directly. Do you guys just want to head straight to the Spelltwin Wands and presumably the doppelganger that wields them?
How long does a short rest require?
An hour.
So Greylog will ask for an hour to rest so he can regain some of his wild shapes, because he'll need those for combat probably.
Is that good with everyone?
I guess so. I mean, no use fighting him while wounded. And I guess I'm trying to think who'd be most capable. You know what? I will give it to my. I would like to try to hand my father to our brother. What's the name? What's his name? The
Whose counterpart?
Summers.
Ramus.
Ramus. He will hand father to Ramus and watch after him and make sure you keep him, I guess, in one piece. It seems we need.
I don't know. I just see a small portion of him. Just something.
Well,
that's not funny.
Yeah, either way.
No. I'm just saying if the kegs go off and there's not much left, I'm just saying that it's not going to stop me from being able to bring them back.
It will if it kills you.
Well, yes, that's fair. But at that point, we have worse things to worry about.
Ramus kind of shakes their head and looks to you, Paul, with tears in their eyes, and slowly takes the body of your shared father from you. The two of you were always... You spent the most time together. So the two of you are probably the closest next to you and Riffis. Thank you. And she cradles, or rather, he cradles the body to himself, and if there's even a chance we can get him back, I'll take it. Thank you for everything. You could have killed us whenever we first met, and that time in the forest.
Well, I don't really. That's not really my style, so.
Thank you. You're a good man. And a good brother. And he sits next to you and holds the body to himself as everyone settles in for a rest. And on your other side, Balak and Riffis settle down to do the same. All of you just mourning the loss of your father, celebrating that you're together again as a family, and holding out hope that maybe, just maybe, there's a chance you can save him after all this time. Anything noteworthy from anyone over the course of a short rest?
Nope.
I mean, I'm gonna use. If we're doing a short rest, I guess I'll use my hit dice to regain some HP.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, any character sheet stuff. I just mean like basically anything that like
Yeah.
plot or dialogue based. That yeah. Okay.
Use 4.
You all get a short rest, and you may all make the appropriate adjustments to your character sheets.
So I need to make what? I use 4 hit dice, so 4d4 or 4d10.
An hour passes in moist, humid silence in the sewers as the Artabaceans mourn their father and just seem to stay together. Sorry, you and Greylog stop and rest, catch your breath, get a bit of a nap in until eventually the hour comes to an end. You all get a short rest, and you feel as ready as you're going to be to track down this doppelganger and kick him out of Paul's house.
Correctamundo.
Okay.
This will be very interesting. Because this is going to be the first time Greylog's ever gone up against another shape changer.
Mm-hmm. And this is a shape changer that's more powerful than you.
Yeah.
Because changelings can only superficially reflect the look. Doppelgangers can perfectly imitate the person down to the personality.
Yeah, because they can steal the
Yep.
memories.
As you all ready to move, Paul, are you going to cast Locate Object again, or just try to the best of your ability to head where you last recall the wands being?
Was it? Did he say out loud where they were?
No.
Hmm.
As the short rest ends, what do you guys do?
Well, I guess I will head towards where he kind of saw it. About halfway, he will cast Locate Object.
Okay. Greylog, Asari, anything from you, or are you just going to follow Paul?
Just gonna follow since my wildfire spirit is still with me.
Okay.
and we're gonna head that way. He's gonna have his focus in one hand, and he's gonna have that scourge whip in the other.
Okay. Okay. Paul, you guys ascend back into the entrance hall. The faceless spirits continue to orbit all of you with curiosity as you make your way along. You make your way up to the second floor, and given the location, Paul, you would know that the most likely route would be the northern staircase. Do you wish to cast Locate Object now, or get up the stairs and go from there?
I guess while he's walking up the stairs, he will cast it.
Okay. Paul, as the three of you start ascending the staircase, you cast Locate Object. You can see indeed you're going the right way. You're getting closer. The wands are directly above you. As you reach the top of the staircase, you find yourself in an area that you're not unfamiliar with, but it's still very odd to be here. This is the room outside of your mother's bedroom.
I will open the door.
As you pull on your mother's bedroom door, the door appears to be locked.
Can I try to pick it again?
Make a dexterity check at disadvantage.
Because he's not going to break another door. He learned that one. $19.
You lean down and begin to pick away at the lock. You are able to make progress on cracking it, but after a while, you just get the impression that you just frankly need better tools if you're going to break through this. This lock appears pretty sturdy.
Hmm.
And
Do you have anything to help with this, Paul?
Paul's gonna start kind of he's gonna like walk backward a bit.
Okay.
Is that an idea? They're not very fond of us breaking the castle.
Oh,
And if we're going for even slightly stealthy approach, busting the door down may not be the best idea.
Delta's out the window. As he's going to charge the door with the shield.
Roll to hit.
His
Guidance.
shield. Guess that'd be armed
Yeah.
improvise attack out of the way.
Yeah.
And then add a d4 from guidance.
Man. Mm-hmm.
How bad is it?
Well, I think what's improvised used?
In this case, strength.
Okay, so I rolled a 3. My strength is 2.
And
So
then
5. D4 is a
then
3, so 8.
8. Paul, you start charging with your shield held up. Paul, Graylog, you managed to just slap a guidance on him as he passes by. The door kind of cracks and splinters a bit, but Paul makes no progress getting in otherwise, and Paul, you go like reeling back. The shield protected you from hurting yourself too badly, but you are a little stunned.
Well, if we're going that route, we don't care about keeping the door safe. Can I use the whip on the door?
You can try. Roll to hit.
Yeah, he's aiming specifically for around the lock area.
Okay.
How's a 14?
Greylog, you pull back with the Scourge whip and whip at the door, and it knocks a few splinters off, but otherwise seems to have no impact. Sorry?
Like, even the acid from it, like the poison and stuff, doesn't do anything to it?
Nope. For the record, you didn't even break its AC.
Oh.
Tough door.
Oh yeah, it's the Queen's bedroom.
Could I jiggle the doorknob?
It is
try to
locked. We know
open it?
that much.
Do
It
we
is
know
locked.
that?
Yeah,
Yes.
I tried to open
Yeah,
it.
yeah, Paul tried to enter and it was locked.
Okay.
That would have been
I was like,
hilarious,
did
but no.
Did
Fuck
anybody
it.
check? Okay, I don't have any magic. I've got... Do I have any of my dragon stuff, or no?
You have your dragon stuff, just not your sorcerer stuff.
Could I know this is gonna sound absolutely insane, but could I maybe use my ice breath to, like, freeze the lock?
You can try. Is that a
Alright.
saving throw or a roll to hit?
I think it is a saving throw.
Alright, objects automatically fail. Roll damage.
Sweet. That is 2. Okay, what level am I doing this at?
Level.
What level am I at right now?
We're
I'm trying
level
to figure
12.
out. Okay,
Does it
hang on.
boost level, or is it just,
I think it does.
they just have a set based off your race?
Um,
Oh no, it does.
it
Six,
says
you do 11, so 11, 4d6.
46. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. That's, there's 1.
Gonna laugh, they don't even do enough damage to break the door.
Oh yeah, this whole it's like you're gonna find him, beat this guy up, like.
So that's 20. That's 28.
Alright. Asari, you take in a deep breath and blow your ice breath over the door. Paul, you can hear the door crack as the lock has already shattered, but Asari keeps going and actually manages to freeze pretty much the entire door solid. And Asari, as you give a kind of shove against it, the door cracks and crumbles into ice chunks. And the three of you are free to enter into the Queen's bedroom.
She kind of makes that face and then looks at Greylog. At least it wasn't you that did it this time.
Yeah. If anything,
I'll
we
gesture
had
at Paul.
permission from the owner of the castle.
I'll look at Paul. You ready?
Paul, according to you locate object, the Spelltwin Wands are above you.
I guess he'll enter the room and so
while looking around, you see that there are 2 windows, one of which lies open. And the room is mostly occupied by a vanity dresser, a wardrobe, and a large, luxurious bed that is largely unused from the looks of it.
Don't know why this thing needs to be so difficult. It's above us, so any way to get it down?
Oh, I could. That's part of why I got my rest in. I could just fly out there and grab them.
I won't stop you.
But where is this doppelganger that we were told about? It's odd that he's not near them. Well, do you see him around?
Well, like I said, he is up above us. Well, I say that. The twin wands are above us, so.
And maybe he's somewhere else in the castle. One problem at a time, right? As he's bouncing up and down on his toes. Okay, okay. And he'll turn into an eagle and fly out the window.
Okay. And do you fly just to the roof?
He's going to circle around the top to see what's there before he just goes straight for him.
Okay.
He's not going to just run into this.
Roll perception.
What would I use for?
I believe since it's wild shape, you can use your perception.
Okay. So that is a 22.
Greylog, hyping yourself up, you morph into an eagle, perch onto the windowsill, and fly out the open window and into the sky and begin to circle the rooftops of Castle Quaisor. And a somewhat unusual sight greets you. You can see on the roof directly above your heads is what appears to be a defensive rampart of the castle that's been, shall we say, converted. You see, in the center of it all is a massive, luxurious-looking rug. A small, what appears to be lantern, sits on one of the ramparts and casts a light over the otherwise beginning to dim ramparts as the sun is starting to set now. You can see a variety of things are on the rug itself. You can see another lantern sitting on the floor next to a table that just kind of has a bunch of scattered things on it, just things like food and mugs. You can see a box nearby that's kind of half open, and at a glance, you can see it contains what appears to be a bunch of candy. You see a small vanity dresser kind of tucked into a corner. What appears to be a wooden trapdoor outside of the rug's area. And on a luxurious-looking, almost throne-like chair, you see a figure sitting and kind of overlooking the surrounding area of the forest. Sitting in the chair, you see what appears to be a humanoid man, orange hair and a bob cut that goes past the ears, green eyes, a long nose that's slightly red at the end, almost like a bug bit him, noticeably buck teeth and wearing a blue, almost wizard-like hat with a purple stripe and a red feather tucked into it, a white collared tunic, a brown belt and silver buckle, blue tights, purple gloves, and a pair of curved brown shoes. And he just kind of sits. He has his feet kind of kicked up on the table that has a bunch of crap scattered on it. Appears to be eating from a small bag of candy, and he's just kind of humming to himself as he looks over the suffering town.
Do I see the wands?
You do not.
He's just going to keep flying up ahead, like overhead. You know the way that eagles do?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to try to make it look natural. And just keep looking for the wands.
Make a stealth check.
That is a natural 20.
Okay.
So 22.
You continue to scan the area. However, you do not see the wands anywhere. However, thankfully, the creature does not seem overly concerned with you. In fact, doesn't even seem to notice you.
I guess he will swoop and head back inside to where the others are.
All right. Paul, Asari, Greylog returns.
And I will shift
All
back.
right.
I can't see him.
Can't see.
But-
him.
Well, I saw
But
him, but I can't see the wands.
The wands aren't important.
I'm pretty sure they'll show up one way or another when we meet this guy.
If you'd like, I could try to fly up there, distract him, and just throw him off the roof.
As lovely as that may sound, I
So
think
there
it's gonna
is a trap door leading up there. I saw it.
So we go down Santa Claus style, right?
He also has a huge sweet tooth. And this really weird zit on his nose too.
Ugh.
Really hate it. It doesn't do him any good.
Someone give that boy some peroxide.
I mean, did you happen to see where this hatch is?
Yes. Can I lead him to it?
Yeah, I'll say, make me a investigation check.
16.
You are able to ascertain that the trapdoor, if it leads straight down, should be right over the bed.
I will point towards the bed. Should be right there, actually. Like, is there a canopy on this bed?
Yes, but it goes like up to the ceiling, and yeah, there's like the curtains you can draw around it. The whole kit caboodle.
As he points at it, is it like on the headboard or something?
How do you mean?
Like, you know, like how beds have a headboard and a backboard?
Well, in theory, yeah, mine don't, but yes, I know what you're referring to.
I'm just like asking, maybe do I see it like in view other than a canopy?
You do see there is a headboard, yes.
Well, what I'm asking is, do I see
He's looking
if
for the hatch.
the wands are there?
No, you don't see any like immediately obvious like hatch or anything.
Okay.
I want to try to remove the canopy Like move it off to the side to see if it's being covered by the canopy.
Make a strength check.
Oh my god. It's gonna be like a canopy of suffocating or something.
Natural 20, so 22.
All right. You tear the queen's canopy off of the bed and reveal an unremarkable ceiling.
Hmm.
How dare you? That was Egyptian cotton.
How'd you know? You've never had anything that nice.
Listen, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know.
Could it be hidden by magic?
Sure. But they're like just a small object. Just anywhere you can grab.
Yeah, there's a few things on the vanity and things like that.
Would like to grab one of the small objects, just toss it up there, toss it at the roof.
You pick up a small thing of lipstick from the vanity and just chuck it at the roof over the bed. Nothing happens.
I look for like a secret button.
Roll
Yeah, I was
investigation.
gonna ask.
Lever. of
I
some
was gonna
kind.
ask. Yeah, I was gonna ask something similar, like see if there's a lever or like one of those trick books.
Roll investigation with advantage.
Okay.
Greylog rolling investigation with advantage, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that works just perfect.
So that is a 19. The first one was an 11. The second one was a 19.
Greylog, as you search for levers, and Asari, you search for trick books. You don't initially find anything. However, Asari, as you look around the bed, you notice beneath the bed there is a small elevated pressure plate that, if someone were to lay in the bed, would likely trigger it.
Oh, can I nosedive into the bed?
Absolutely, you can.
I'm gonna
Roll
freaking
bed.
nosedive.
You watch as the fairly heavy-set Asari dives into your mother's bed, and a moment
Sorry?
passes as her weight kind of settles on it, and sorry, the bed is really comfy.
Oh my god.
It's
I
velvet and
I
silk
was
at
like,
worst.
oh my god.
This
Guys,
is
you
truly a
might-
queen's bed.
You guys
But-
might have to go on without me. This is just I'm in heaven.
Asari, as you say that, one of the stones on the ceiling pulls away with a, and a small rope ladder unfurls and just kind of releases at your feet, leading up into a now open passageway in the ceiling.
Ta-da!
I'll be like, nice.
Do the three of you
Found
climb
the
this
secret
ladder?
door.
Yeah. Paul will proceed to climb up the ladder.
All right. Asari, as you just make yourself quite comfortable, Paul hops into his mom's bed and starts climbing up the ladder, disappearing up into the shaft.
Before he does, Greylog's going to say, I'm going to use my last wild shape and go distract him. Let y'all get the jump on him once you get up there.
Be careful. She's saying this like as she's like sprawling out on the bed, like she is not moving until like she absolutely has to.
All right. Greylog, I'm assuming you take on just eagle form again?
He's actually, when he gets to the window, he's going for something bigger this time.
Okay.
He's going to turn into a
Ooh.
chicken hawk. Those fucking things are huge.
Okay.
True.
You turn into a large hawk and fly out into the twilight sky. And Asari, you kind of groan and stretch before finally getting up and climbing up to follow Paul as you
I
all
must
head up.
really like you people.
As you head up to finally confront this malicious doppelganger.
And
And
that is
that
where we're going
is
to
where
end
we're
for
going to end
tonight.
tonight's session.
I knew it.
Now listen, you can't do that. He's already gotten on to like Hunter for that.
It was my first time ever doing it. I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, well, we'll see what tell it to the judge.
I did.
Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to be resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer who is big comfy.
Big comfy indeed.
Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions. And check out Odd Tornado Productions Official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Paladins Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon. That link to be posted as well. On Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/Odd Tornado Productions. And follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd, TNO capitalized, to get live updates on when we go live, as well as updates on all of our other work. And if you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time for our Tuesday game of Black Ink and Blue Blood, featuring a party of politicians and nobles trying to unravel a political conspiracy if they could stop stabbing each other in the back long enough. We will be taking a couple weeks off, but feel free to peruse our YouTube channel to catch up. And we will be back in a few weeks, resuming that campaign from where we left off, as our rogues must confront their political destiny and birthright. Thanks, everyone at the table so much for playing. Thanks, everyone at home so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.